After the release of Child's Play 3, producer David Kirshner decided the series required a new direction, and decided against having Andy return. Work on the film began in 1996, inspired by films like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ronnie Yu was hired after Kirshner and Mancini were impressed by his film The Bride with White Hair and accepted in exchange for creative freedom the ability to hire his own collaborators Peter Paw and David Wu from Hong Kong. Mancini claims to have created the character of Tiffany after seeing a copy of The Bride of Frankenstein at a video store. Mancini hired Jennifer Tilly because of her role in the movie Bound. Tiffany Valentine, a former lover and associate of Charles Lee Ray, bribes a police officer into giving her the parts of the Chucky doll. Believing Chucky's spirit still inhabits the doll, Tiffany stitches him back together. Though her attempt to resurrect Chucky failed at first, Chucky eventually does come back and smothers Tiffany's goth admirer to death with a pillow as Tiffany watches in excitement. Tiffany presents a ring to Chucky that he had on him when he died, thinking he was going to propose. Unfortunately for her, Chucky admits he just stole it and wasn't going to propose. Tiffany, enraged and heartbroken, locks Chucky in a playpen and taunts him with a doll wearing a wedding dress. Later, Chucky escapes the playpen and kills Tiffany by electrocuting her in a bathtub. Chucky transfers her soul into the doll she was teasing him with. He then tells her that they had to get an amulet he was buried with, and they could transfer their souls into her neighbor Jesse and his girlfriend Jade. Tiffany calls Jesse and asks him to take the dolls to Hackensack, New Jersey, where Charles is buried, in exchange for money. Jesse agrees, as he now sees this as an opportunity to elope with Jade. Jade's uncle, Chief Warren Kincaid, plants weed in Jesse's van. And of course, Chucky and Tiffany rig a trap that embeds nails into Warren's face. Jesse and Jade begin their trip, and it's going alright until Officer Norton pulls them over, finds the weed that Warren Kincaid planted. As Norton calls to report it, Chucky puts a shirt in the gas tank and lights it on fire while Norton is inside the car. Jesse and Jade flee the scene and suspect that one of them did it, and they start to distrust each other. Jesse and Jade do get married. While at a hotel, a couple steals Jesse's money. As the couple has sex, Tiffany murders them. After this happens, Chucky proposes to Tiffany and they begin having sex. The next morning, Jesse and Jade leave the hotel with their friend David after both of them call him, telling the other one is the murderer. David informs them they are suspects for the murders, believing they are both innocent until he comes upon Warren's body. David holds them up at gunpoint and alerts a nearby officer. The dolls come alive, causing David to back onto the highway, in which he gets run over. Jesse and Jade flee again, and they steal a mobile home to evade the police. Jesse and Jade initiate a fight against the dolls. Jade locks Tiffany in an oven. Jesse pushes Chucky out of the window, and the mobile home crashes in a ditch. Chucky forces Jade to take him to his grave, with Jesse and Tiffany following. Jade grabs the amulet for Chucky. Jesse suddenly appears behind Tiffany, and they trade hostages as Chucky throws a knife into Jesse's back and ties the couple up for the ritual. As this happens, Tiffany kisses Chucky and stabs him. A fight ensues. Tiffany gets stabbed, and Chucky gets multiple shots by Jade with Lieutenant Preston's gun. Preston clears the teens and sends them home. Tiffany wakes up, screams, and gives birth to a baby doll, which attacks Preston. Bride of Chucky was released on October 16, 1998, grossing $11.8 million in its opening weekend, ending its run with $50.7 million, $34.2 in the US, and $18.3 internationally. This is the most gross Chucky film and the second most financially successful Chucky film in the United States. To promote the film, Chucky appeared on World Championship Wrestling's flagship show Monday Nitro, interrupting a promo between Mean Gene Okerlund and Rick Steiner. In addition to promoting the film, Chucky says he hopes for Rick to win an upcoming match or whatever, who cares. Production on a new film called Son of Chucky began on October 18, 1998, just 2 days after Bride was released. Don Mancini, who is gay, was interested in exploring LGBT-related themes in this new film, inspired by the 1953 film Glen or Glenda, which is what Chucky's child is called in the movie. He also decides to switch more to comedy than horror, as when audiences become more familiar with these killers, they get less scary. Universal Pictures, which has produced the last 3 movies, were expecting a conventional horror movie and were not expecting what Mancini wrote. Universal rejected the murderer's son story with a note, quote, "This is too gay." Production resumed after the script was picked up by Focus Feature, who released Cabin Fever in 2003. Mancini said on a podcast that before hiring Redman, he offered Quentin Tarantino the role as himself, but he turned it down. 6 years after the last film, Glenn, the son of Chucky and Tiffany, has a nightmare of murdering a little girl's parents. In reality, he's a ventriloquist doll in the UK. After being forced to perform and then locked in a cage, he sees a preview of Jennifer Tilly's new horror movie called Chucky Goes Psycho and details the last movie. He realizes that he is the son of Chucky and Tiffany and follows them to Hollywood. Glenn uses the Heart of Damballa, the amulet Chucky had, to bring them back to life. Chucky faints and Tiffany embraces her son. When a puppeteer tried to disassemble the dolls, Tiffany and Chucky decapitate him with a piano wire. Jennifer finds the body and calls the police. Chucky, Tiffany, and Glenn ride in her limo. After seeing his parents murder the puppeteer, he asks why they do it, and we get an iconic line from Chucky.
Excuse me?
Why do you kill?
Well, it's a hobby, really. It helps us relax.
After this, Jennifer tries to get a part in Redman's new movie to play the Virgin Mary. Redman says he's picking Julia Roberts. Jennifer invites Redman to her house. Chucky and Tiffany plan to transfer their souls into Jennifer and Redman. Tiffany artificially inseminates Jennifer, and Chucky kills Britney Spears in a car crash. Glenn accidentally kills John Waters' character. The next morning, Jennifer confronts Redman and explains that she's pregnant, but Redman reveals that it couldn't be him because he got a vasectomy. Raged at this, Tiffany eviscerates him. The next day, Jennifer wakes up to see she has a full pregnant belly. Chucky attacks and captures Jennifer and her chauffeur. Jennifer's assistant Joanne tries to help but is killed by Glenn's murderous twin sister Glenda, whose soul shares Glenn's body. Tiffany, who realizes this, slaps Glenda back to Glenn, who is horrified at what happened. Jennifer gives birth to twin babies, a boy and a girl. Chucky has an epiphany. After years as an infamous murderous doll, he accepts his circumstances. Tiffany rejects this and decides to take Glenn with her. Chucky throws a knife at Jennifer to stop Tiffany in a rage, but Stan jumps in the way, saving Jennifer. The police show up and Jennifer is rushed to the hospital as she says she wants to see her babies. Tiffany drugs and attempts to possess her, but Chucky breaks in and kills Tiffany with an axe. Glenn avenges Tiffany and kills Chucky. 5 years after this, Jennifer's nanny quits because Glenda scares her. Jennifer lets her quit, but murders her with the Tiffany doll, and her eyes glow green, showing us that Tiffany did transfer her soul into Jennifer. Glenn opens one more present, and Chucky's severed arm is revealed, and we have Chucky's infamous laugh to close out the movie. Seed of Chucky opened at number 4, making $8,774,520 from November 11th, which was opening day, to the 14th, 2004. When the film closed on December 23rd, 2004, the domestic gross was $17.1 million and the worldwide $24.8 million against a $12 million budget they made the movie with. Seed of Chucky opened at number 8 in Australia on February 6, 2005, behind $1 Million Baby and Sky Captain and The World of Tomorrow. Seed opened at 11 in France. On March 2nd, 2005, it opened behind The Axe and the remake of Assault on Precinct 13. Seed opened at number 10 in the UK on May 13th, 2005, opening behind Monster Law, The Jacket, and A Good Woman. At the MTV Movie Awards 2005, Jennifer Tilly was nominated for Best Frightened Performance, which she lost to Dakota Fanning in Hide and Seek. In an August 2008 interview, Don Mancini and David Kirshner spoke of a planned reboot of the Chucky franchise to be written and directed by Mancini, and describes the choice to do a remake instead of a sequel for fans who want a scary Chucky movie again, to go back to horror and to bring down the comedy. They also indicated Brad Dourif would return. In another interview, Mancini described the remake as a darker and scarier retelling of the first Child's Play film, but one that would have new ideas that would not stray too far from the original. At a 2009 horror convention, Dourif confirmed his role in the remake. At a reunion panel at the Mad Monster Party Horror and Science Convention, the cast and crew from the original film confirmed that both a remake and a spin-off were in the works. Not much is known about this remake besides the fact that this remake did not happen because the awful Nightmare on Elm Street remake was received. Even though this remake's budget was $35 million and they made $117.7 million. However, the reception was not great. Even the original Freddy disliked it. This movie is why we haven't had new remakes and kind of why we have Paranormal Activity and the Conjuring movies. I just want to thank everybody again for watching this video. I am very proud of these videos. I like these movies that I'm talking about. I like this series. And I'm kind of mad that we didn't get a reboot back in 2010 because of the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Tell me if you want me to talk about anything else. I enjoy horror movies. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that. And I've seen a lot of horror movies. I love horror movies. So if there's anything else you guys want me to talk about, please comment below. Please. Or you can hit me up on social media if you follow me there. I just want to thank everybody again for liking this. Whoever likes this video, whoever subscribes after this, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope, honestly, to do this as a job. So, thanks.